Former President Donald Trump is furious that he got caught spilling state secrets. On Sunday, he lashed out at a New York Times report about secret audio recordings from an Australian billionaire, claiming that Trump had leaked secrets to him at Mar-a-Lago. The audio recordings were published by 60 Minutes Australia. The report from the Times revealed the Australian billionaire named Anthony Pratt talking about his experiences and a relationship with the former president. In the recordings, Mr. Pratt recounts how Mr. Trump shared with him in December of 2019 what he describes as elements of a conversation the president had with Iraq's leader right after a U.S. military strike there aimed at Iranian-backed forces. Days later, a U.S. drone strike in Baghdad would kill Iran's top security and intelligence commander. So I remember when that happened. Apparently, he had told Pratt, "I just bombed Iraq." Oh, lovely. Now, at one point, Mr. Pratt also said that Mr. Trump discussed a phone call, the very perfect phone call, that he had with President Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine earlier that year that had helped lead to Mr. Trump's first impeachment. Again, the perfect call, where he was trying to pressure the Ukrainian leader into, launching an investigation into Joe Biden during an election. Hey, wouldn't that be election interference? No, you ask Trump. No. Couldn't possibly be. It's only election interference if it happens to me. Right. In fact, according to Mr. Pratt's recounting, and again, I understand that we're taking him at his word. So, grain of salt and all that, to be fair. But apparently, according to Mr. Pratt, he said of Trump's statement saying, that was nothing compared to what I usually do, Trump said, referring to, of course, Ukraine. Earlier this month, there was a report from ABC News where Trump was also alleged to have dished about classified nuclear subs, which again, this defense information, that would be pretty relevant to the Mar-a-Lago documents case. That said, of course, Trump gets on
truth essential,
and vehemently denied the report, and also painted himself to be a victim, saying, quote, "The failing New York Times story linked by deranged Jack Smith and the Biden political opponent abuser DOJ about a red-haired weirdo from Australia named Anthony Pratt is fake news." Here we go again. How do you know it's linked by deranged Jack Smith? You don't. He said, quote, "I never spoke to him about submarines, but I did speak to him about creating jobs in Ohio and Pennsylvania because that's what I'm all about." Oh, yes, he's all about creating jobs. Jobs, a great economy, low taxes, no inflation, energy dominance, strong borders, no endless wars, low interest rates, and much more. You know what this is? This is the campaign. Like, he's campaigning right there, okay? While pushing back against a report that he allegedly shared defense secrets with a billionaire at Mar-a-Lago. Wow. I mean, shameless doesn't even, it's not even the right word. I don't even have the right words at this point. Just, wow. He then went on, of course, to attack Maggie Haberman, misspelling her name as Maggie Hagerman, and the Misfits, saying, "They never called me for a comment. Why would they? They just write anything they want. Whether it's correct or not is of zero importance to them. All the news that's unfit to print, that's why we call it the fake news." Wow. And here's my question, right? Because it seems to be coming up a lot lately. In all these denials, the denial of Sidney Powell, for example, and now this. I want to know why he keeps saying, "They never called me for comment. They never asked me." Oh, really? Why would that matter to you? I mean, if they're the lying press, the fake news, the enemy of the people, all things that you've called them before, why would it matter if they reach out for your comment? It doesn't make any sense unless you think about it this way. It's because he wants their attention and validation. He craves it. His campaign thrives on it. For all of his hatred of the fake news, he longs for their validation, at least in my mind. And I think that's what drove this to, if this really did happen, if he did dish on state secrets to this Australian billionaire, if he actually is telling the truth, then I think that this happened because Trump wanted to impress him. Because he wants validation. I think. And look, he knows that he's only rich because of his dad, Trump. Okay. And that, had he not done anything but put his money into a savings account and lived off the interest, right? He would be probably richer today than he would otherwise. That's it. He's only rich because of his dad. He's had so many, again, bankruptcies 6 times going bankrupt, and thinks it's it's great, just go bankrupt, yeah, and not paying lawyers, not paying, legal fees, not paying for, police, not paying for a lot of things, not paying for much at all. I mean, the valuations of his properties, where he would allegedly inflate the assets in order to get loans, which again, in a lot of cases, he would end up defaulting on those loans, failing to pay them, and then going bankrupt, and getting out of having to pay those loans, which I believe was the case in the Atlantic City Casino, what was it, Taj Mahal, I think. And so, like all of this stuff that he has done in his financial past is not someone who's very business savvy, not someone who is a very wealthy person. So I think he knows truth about himself, that he's not a rich person, that he's actually a colossal failure when it comes to being an actual good, savvy business person, and has survived only off of his name and the money his dad left him, which again, he somehow, when you're born rich, it's so easy to stay rich. You could be the biggest blunder in the world and still somehow stay rich, as long as you have a famous name and are really, really good at talking yourself up and hyping yourself up, and that's exactly what Trump is. He's a glorified hype man, and has created so much hype over his name that is absolutely undeserved. But since he knows the truth about himself, Trump seeks validation from people who actually are billionaires, people who are incredibly wealthy and are successful. And I think that's insecurity. I think he wants to impress people. And how this gets to Pratt, if this really happened, is, well, you can't really impress Pratt with your wealth, right? Especially if Pratt might be allegedly richer than Trump. But something that might impress Pratt is Trump's knowledge of state secrets. Oh, did you know? I talked to very, very important people. I talked to the leader of Iraq. You know what we're gonna do? I'm very, very strong. I decided to bomb them. That's right. Here's what I have. I have nuclear submarines all at my command. I have them. They're mine. I own them. He doesn't, but it doesn't prevent him from saying these things, from lying and puffing himself up, because that's what he's done his entire life. And so at the end of the day, I think we're all aware that Trump's barely more mature than a toddler. And so, of course, he's not going to be concerned about anything more than, hey, don't you think I'm cool? Don't you think I'm amazing and awesome? Yes, little Donnie, you sure are. Go on and play. Let the adults, handle the room, okay? That's it. Putting this guy in charge is worse than putting an actual toddler. I think an actual toddler might do a better job. And every time these reports come out, and again, I'm still waiting for it to be 100% verified. New York Times has reported about it, and there's audio recordings of Pratt saying, this is what he said, this is what he told me. And so, there's that. But again, the more that we learn, it's just one small part of it. We find out every day just how dangerous this man, being in a position of power with our secrets, the most powerful country on the planet, really, really was. That'd help us if we, if he gets elected again.